Education today is very different from what it's been at any other time in the history of mankind. There are two reasons why we choose to start our presentation with this statement. For one, it explains why we constantly reinvent ourselves to keep pace with the rapid developments in our domain. For another, well, we think it makes for a reasonably nice and impressive beginning, don't you? Focus EduVation is an education management company. To put it simply, we are educators in corporate clothing. As educators, we are aware that the student is at the core of the education process, and all efforts to modernize education must therefore be direct with this precept in mind. In today's world, educators cannot rely entirely on traditional classroom resources and methods alone. They must constantly innovate to keep the active minds in a classroom engaged. We think education and innovation are inseparable. So we put them together, in fact, blended them. And the result, EduVation, education and innovation, simplified. The simplified, we thought, added a nice little lilt to the whole thing. So what does Focus EduVation do? We cater to the US K-12 and higher ed segments. Our team specializes in creating assessments, content, graphics, animations, and interactivities in science, math, English, and social studies in the K-12 segment. And business communication, financial accounting, and management in the higher ed space. The reason why we had a successful run over the past 4 years is that we follow clearly mandated processes. Every interactive simulation project would involve a series of steps, starting with consulting the client to establish the objectives. This is followed by a brainstorming session involving our core team led by a project manager. Once the ideas are in place, our team of subject matter experts and instructional designers give shape to the ideas and leave it to the reviewers to fine-tune them. Once the ideas are approved by the reviewers, the animators and designers take over. Finally, the programmers breathe life into the graphics, bringing them alive. At various stages in the process, we have well-defined QA procedures designed to weed out anything that does not conform to the established standards. All assessments, graphics, animations, or interactive simulations created at Focus EduVation go through these multi-step processes. The end result is a product that always meets and often exceeds the client's expectations. Well, speaking of the client, we believe that the client's involvement is critical to the success of our projects. The project manager ensures that the client is always aware of what exactly is happening at any given time. While working on projects, we often encounter situations where the scope of work is scaled up rapidly. To deal with such situations, we have trained bench strengths of resources always available. They can be moved on board immediately to counter such situations. For all our abilities at meeting client expectations, ramping up numbers rapidly and bringing loads of innovation to the table, we would be nothing without our greatest asset, our team. A team of the most explosive talent on earth. A team called Focus EduVation. Education and innovation simplified.